This is what it's all about. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a 4-month update and upgrade video on my F900 GS. If you missed it, I've already done a couple of bits and pieces to this bike, including the taller saddle, the taller screen, and this wonderful SW Motec tank bag. But in this box down here that I ordered from a bike thing, well, there's a couple of extra bits that I need to put on this bike to make it better and make it more practical and usable. If you don't know or haven't heard of a bike thing, then I suggest you check them out. I'll put a link to their Instagram below, because about a week after collecting this bike, I was scrolling through Instagram, as you do, and they came up because they're very active on socials and they produce a lot of very, very cool content, especially around BMW motorbikes and modifications. I've been talking to them for months. I was actually going to go up and see them, but they've been extremely busy. I've been extremely busy. So we've ordered these bits in the meantime, and then hopefully later this year, I will go up and see them with the bike and we'll fit a couple of extra bits that I'm not particularly confident about fitting. Hopefully I can manage to install these this afternoon. In terms of what the modifications are, well, there's two things in here. Let's just open it up. In fact, that's a lie. There are three things in here. There's a sweetie. I will consume that a little bit later when my energy levels drop. But we have an Arrow link pipe, which I'll show you a lot more about later. But essentially, it gets rid of this really ugly, I think BMW call it a sound box, which is ironic because, well, it reduces sound. Obviously, this is a brand new motorbike that passes Euro 5 plus regulations, meaning it has to be quite quiet and pass a number of emission standards. And although that Arrow link pipe doesn't get rid of things like your catalytic converter, it does get rid of that sound box. And hopefully, in fact, I know it gives you a better sound, because once again, I've seen a Bike Things YouTube video around this exact upgrade, and I thought I need that on my bike. The other modification is a pannier rack or luggage rack. It's a small, simple rack that I'll show you a little bit later, but it just means that I can now, or I will be able to, throw a bag on the back and take this bike away for a couple of days or a week. I really want to take it down to the Alps before the end of the summer, but as I'm sure for you lot, this year just seems to be flying away. Anyway, let's install the link pipe first, but before we do that, I'm going to fire the bike up with a cold start so you can hear what the stock system sounds like. Let's fire it up. That was just revving to about 4,500 RPM because it's pretty cold. I did have it out about an hour ago, but temperatures are down now. But that is essentially a cold start idle, and now things are slowing down a bit to a regular idle. Actually doesn't sound too bad when the bike's static, but when you're on the move, it's really difficult to hear any kind of exhaust note.
Whether he would have been another experience, but so penny drops. He just retired from the established, but of course he was and stuff like that. So you now,
I already know that this reduces the sound on my motorbike. I already know that it looks ugly. It's a horrible piece of metalwork. And now I know that it weighs almost 4 kilos. The Arrow link pipe that replaces it, in theory, gives us a much better sound. We're going to find that out very soon. It weighs half a kilo. Oh, and it looks a lot nicer than that.
life and me and the world. No, so you lose that freedom to just have a normal. David shows them different. The thing I love was and everyone else was signed up to LA, and so that's in the film. There's some aggressive and mental life. He wasn't just racing for himself. He had an inner way. Just power support. It's not a question of, oh, well, the rewards are so great, then it's worth it. If you don't accept challenges, where do you stop?
Right then, 1 hour and some grubby hands later, we have the link pipe installed. And I hope you'll agree that it looks so much cleaner on the bike. Now, let's see what this thing sounds like on a cold start. I'm going to apologise to my neighbours in advance. Here we go. Oh yes, noticeably louder. Let's just give it a little. Much nicer note. I'm going to turn this off now before I upset everyone in the vicinity. Hey guys, you now join me the next morning on what sounds like a completely different bike. But before we talk about the exhaust, I want to talk about the second upgrade that I didn't really bother introducing on camera because I think you'd seen enough of me fiddling around with an exhaust. And that second upgrade is actually hidden behind me. It's a Perrin top rack, I think it's called. Essentially, it's a very basic and minimal luggage rack. When I say basic, it's beautifully made, but it's very minimalistic. So enough to strap a bag down on and head abroad to the Alps or wherever, Wales, Scotland. Essentially gives me the capabilities that I had on that R1250 GS a few years ago. I obviously had a luggage rack and gave me places to strap my bag down. That's all I need, because I'm not going to be going away for more than a week on this bike, and I reckon with my SW Motec tank bag and the new Perrin rack, well, I reckon I'm good to go. I left home this morning. I'm heading down to Henley because my lovely other half, Lou, is hosting an event down there for the next couple of nights. And she actually left her house key at home, so I'm going to drop a house key to the hotel that she's staying at. And I mean, what an excuse to come out. Henley's just over an hour from where I live, so nice 2.5 hour round trip on my motorbike in this wonderful weather. In fact, we're going alongside the River Thames here. Anyway, the exhaust. I left home with earplugs in because the first sort of 40 minutes is on the M40 motorway at 70-ish miles an hour. But as I was leaving my village, I already thought that the exhaust sounded louder, and that was with earplugs in. I've just stopped to take them out, and I tell you what, it's just lovely. It's not stupidly loud, but you can actually hear it now. You can hear that twin. It's exactly what I wanted this bike to sound like when I bought it. And although on the cold start it wasn't horrendous in stock form, as soon as you got moving, it just got quieter and quieter. And then you factor in wind noise at 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, and you couldn't hear the exhaust. Whereas now, at 50, I can hear it. And that's just the beginning. I mean, the little pops and cracks on the overrun and on the upshift. Oh, it's just so nice. It's just added character. And this bike already had a lot of character, don't get me wrong, but it's amazing. That mid-pipe cost just over 100 quid and took me about an hour to fit. I reckon, hand on heart, it is the best upgrade that you can have done to your F900 GS. It doesn't mess around with the cats. I think I mentioned that yesterday. All that stays in place. It just gives you a little bit more noise. Oh, there's one of those tragic SQ5s with fake exhausts. You know, adding this tank bag gave me so much more practicality, usability. The seat and the screen made it a bit easier to ride. The exhaust, well, listen to this. Oh yes. And now the fact I've got a rack behind me, I mean, that's just golden. In fact, I've got a couple of days, well, I'm not free next week, I should be editing, but the weather's looking glorious, and I'm already looking at the shuttle prices and availability, because I'd love to get this over, even to sort of northern France. Just go and find some wonderful uncutted roads without any of these cars around, and go and have some fun. Something to talk about and mention is the weight saving that I made. I know yesterday I showed you that the link pipe was over 3 kilos lighter than that horrible box of steel, and adding this Perrin rack, and I'm still net minus 2-ish kilos. So adding a luggage rack and the link pipe and taking off that horrible metal box of exhaust, well, I've managed to save 2 kilos ish. We're actually just coming into, there you go, Henley now. It's a beautiful place, Henley, really is. I'm sure it's going to be stupidly busy today because the festival is on. I think it's arguably more pretty in the winter. Come down here, grab yourself a coffee and go for a little wander along the River Thames. It's warm. Well, it says 28 degrees there. We're made to feel like 28 degrees is killing all of us, but actually we're in, what, the middle of July. It should be 28 degrees. It was when I was a kid. Where am I going here? Left and left, I think, or left and straight. Of course, it's 20-mile-an-hour limit here, but gives us a chance to have a look around. But yeah, no, it's a really nice place, this. There's lots and lots of cafes and restaurants. It's not the cheapest place, but yeah, it's a nice place to come visit. There's some decent hotels here as well, as you'd probably expect. And in fact, Lou is staying at one that I stayed at recently with Michelin. The Relias, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, we're going to be there in a sec. So I'll show you. Only problem with Henley is parking. Parking is a big issue, even when the festival's not here. There's not many parking spaces. There's a couple of car parks. There's one at the station. But yeah, if you're staying at a hotel, there's a Hotel de Vin. I stayed there many years ago, actually. Here we go. Here's the water. In fact, let's get over here so you get a better look. Look at that. That's very cool. Let's turn this off now. Beautiful. Oh, G80 M3. Nice. It's on the wrong tyres. Anyway. So this is actually the hotel. Although it's massive, so you wouldn't necessarily have a room looking over this road and the river. beep, 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 beep. Right, leave it in gear, Joe, otherwise that's going to get embarrassing. And then there you go. Let's bring the phone in. Quad lock. Haven't mentioned them for a while. Awesome, awesome products. Now, I've always loved upgraded or aftermarket exhausts on my cars, but in recent years, well, the difference is smaller and smaller. I mean, again, looking at my M5, I've just had a Miltech back box fitted to that, and although it does sound a little bit different at idle, it's definitely not too different when you're on the move. But this, it's wonderful. I'm such a child. But it's not over the top. It's just exactly what I want. Oh, road closed. Is it actually closed? Why do I like playing Russian roulette with road closures? I think it's simply because if the road is open, then I get a big hit of satisfaction. But if it's closed, then I get frustrated with myself for not believing the road closure sign. Very, very strange tactic, Joe. Do any of you lot do the same thing? Let me know in the comments below. So far, so good. There's a second road closed sign. Now we really are pushing our luck. It's so close to the road we need to get to. In fact, we're 600 meters away. Is this gonna come and bite me in the arse? Yes, it is. No, it's not. Because I'm on a motorbike, baby. Yes. Okay, so the gamble paid off this time, but only because I was on a motorbike. Fantastic. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Unlucky van. So what I love about putting routes into your nav and asking it to avoid main routes. I'm only 35 minutes away from home, but I've got no idea where I am. It's a beautiful little village. If I was travelling through France or somewhere else in Europe, then yeah, it would make more sense. But the fact that I'm relatively close to home and yet I've got no idea where I am, well, there's a sense of adventure there. A small sense of adventure. You don't necessarily need an adventure bike to do this sort of adventuring. No gloves and a t-shirt on. Well, that's your choice, mate. That's your choice. I know it's a hot day. I think there is a small argument for not wearing loads of protective gear if you're just cruising around at 20-30 miles an hour in towns and villages. And the reason I say that is because I, or many of you probably, would jump on your bicycle and ride around your local area at speeds of up to, what, 25 miles an hour in shorts and a t-shirt. Some people don't even wear half-hat helmets. And so, in that scenario, I guess it's kind of acceptable, but I think it just doesn't set a good example to others. And yeah, seeing that young kid, I think as an older person, I just picture the worst. And all it takes is a puncher or an animal jumping out in front of you, a car, anything. And next thing you're skidding along the ground, and it might not even be a high speed crash. It might be 25, 30 miles an hour. But if that happened and you weren't wearing any kind of protective gear, especially on your hands, I mean, if you come off, your hands are going out in front of you naturally. I've done that a million times on my mountain bike over the years, and let me tell you, your hands will always find a way to hit the ground first. So wear gloves at least, at the very, very least. Anyway guys, I'm going to sign off, say goodbye for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks as always for the support, especially on the bike channel. It's growing nicely, the views are brilliant, and I can't really ask for any more apart from subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to check out A Bike Thing website and Instagram in the description below, and I will see you at another video very, very soon. Let's just do another little cheeky acceleration. Take it easy. Just wanted to add this bit to the end. So today I've covered just under 100 miles and I averaged 52.3 mpg. When you're on the motorway at 70, 75 miles an hour, it's actually sort of 50, 51 mpg. And when you're cruising around the A and B roads, you're in the mid 50s. So that gives us the average of 52.3. I don't think that's too bad at all. Goodbye.